What's up, guys? As you can probably see behind me, we are doing some rearranging in the bed of the truck. I figured this would be the perfect opportunity to get the new Versatrax Railtrax system installed in the bed of the truck. If you've been around, you know that we already run Versatrax systems in the bed. We've run the original version. This is version 2, and now again, this is the latest and greatest. I'll give you a look at the differences, but super easy to get installed and extremely handy if you tie things down in the bed of your truck. So yeah, let me get one side installed and I'll give you a look at the differences between the last version and the brand new version. Super easy to do. Let's get into it. And real quick, before we do the install, not only do we have the Railtrax for the two back parts of the bed, we also have the single version. If you have a crew cab, or the short bed, I should say, you know, up in the front of the bed, as you'll see, we only have one bolt up there. He did come out with a version for them as well, so I just wanted to point that out. We do have both, and we'll be installing both. All right, don't mind the inverter here, but basically all we're going to do is, if you don't have any Versatrax system installed yet, all you're going to do is remove your two bed bolts, the stock ones. We obviously have his second gen installed. It's a T55 bit, so we're just going to go ahead and loosen both sides. Once you have both of them loosened, go ahead and pick this right up, and we'll set that aside. So we went ahead and cleaned up the area since we have access to it. And all we're going to do is place the new system down like so. Take the supplied hardware, and these are T50. He does send the bit with it, which is nice. We'll just go ahead and get them started. And then tighten them down. Okay, so let's give you a look at the differences. This is the older version, or version 2. You can see pretty streamlined. Now, you also have to keep in mind, we have bed stiffeners on our bed. So we do, this end of our Versatrax does sit on top of the bed stiffener. So that's why, like, they would be even more flush typically if you don't have a bed stiffener. But as you can see, this end of our Versatrax has to sit on top of the bed stiffener. So that's why, like, this side, you can see there's a little bit more of a gap and it's not quite as low as the other side. But if you look at that side, you'll get a pretty good idea of how well and how flush they do sit. Again, this is the older version. Now, let's come over to the new version that we just installed. And you can already see how much more streamlined it is inside that channel. Again, you can't really go by this side unless you have a bed stiffener because it sits on top of that bracket. But if you come down here and look at this end, that is basically flush straight across with the ribs. Okay, so that's the differences. You can also see there it's labeled up in here. It has the numbers, it has the Versatrax Railtrax name engraved in there, and I'll grab a couple of my mounts and show you how they slide in those tracks as well. But just super streamlined, look good, and they're solid as can be. I have had some big items tied down in the back of this truck using these, along with our Travonia design tie downs as well. But it just gives you plenty of options as far as securing things in the bed of the truck. And here's another good look of them side by side. So again, you can just see the new version, definitely thinner, sits lower in the channels of the bed. So that's the differences. As far as securing items, he has different versions of mounts. I have a ton of these, but basically anything similar like this will work. All you got to do is line up the areas with the grooves and then pull this tab up, and it's going to sit down in there. It works just like the older version. Then push it forward, you'll hear it lock into place, and now you can see that's not going anywhere, and that's how you would use that version. This type, same thing. We'll just go ahead and slide that one down a little bit. This type is the same thing. It's got the ball on the bottom, so just go ahead and push the ball down like so. Pop it in one of the holes like that, and then when you slide it forward, it's going to lock like so. And again, there's your securing point to tie down whatever you need. So it has those holes all along the system. Very versatile, gives you a ton of options as far as securing whatever you need to tie down in the bed. When you need to remove these, push down, pull up on the two wings, slide it over, line up the circle with the hole and pop it straight out. Same thing with this. Pull up on that tab, pull back a little bit until these areas line up with the holes, and it'll pop straight out. Okay, so in the back of the bed, again, if you have the smaller bed, you can see, let me just put my light down real quick, there's our single bolt right there. If you have the longer or the standard size bed or the long bed, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, you have two bolts back here as well, so you can get another set of what we just did. But again, in the shorter bed, you only have this single bolt back here, so it's a T55. Just going to go ahead and remove that, and we can install the Versatrax single point tie down. All right, so we have the stock bolt removed, and let me just show you how these single point Versatrax pieces work. So you can see in the middle, you have that piece that's sliding, okay? Slide it all the way over to the left, you'll be able to pop it out, okay? And that's what it looks like. You can see it has that little notch on it like that. The bolts that you use for the single point tie downs have a notch just like that, okay? So all you're gonna do is, once you have this piece out, you can see you can slide the bolt in and then slide it over, all right? And then we're just gonna go ahead and get it started. Once we get it started, what you're gonna wanna do is make sure the bolt is rotated like that, so the notch is facing this way, because that's what's gonna allow you to put this piece back down in there, and just make sure it pops down in. You kind of got to get it lined up like so, and you can see how everything is nice and flush. Okay, so that's how this whole system works and gets installed. And actually, we can probably just see if we can get it started right now. Let me grab the T50. So we'll go ahead and just get it going. Grab our ratchet and get it secured. And then tighten it the rest of the way down by hand. Now that it's tightened, I'll show you the mounting pieces work just about the same. All you're going to do is push down on the silver piece, the brass piece right here, slide it in, let the wings, and when I say wings, I mean these two metal pieces or silver pieces on the side. That's what's going to lock it in place. It kind of grips the two tabs here. So again, push down, slide, lock it in place just like so, and now you have a single point mounting solution. And the other cool thing is, once it is locked in place, I didn't show you this on the bigger pieces on the back of the bed, but your ring rotates and swivels, so just endless possibilities on ways to secure items, whatever you need in the bed of your truck. All right, guys, there you have it. The new Versatrax Railtrax system. Check it out. Links will be down below. We're not going to be using the single point spot over there, only because, as you can see, that's where we have, I got to finish cleaning all this mess up, and again, we're rearranging everything in the bed as far as the batteries, the fridge, all that good stuff. But we're not going to be installing that one over there, just because, as you can see, that's where we keep our DC to DC charger and all that good stuff. So I don't really use that securing point on that corner of the bed. But as you can see, we have plenty of options. Highly recommend these Versatrax systems. Discount code and link will be down below. Give them a look if you're in the market. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We'll see you on the next one.